Ah, the trial. It's almost done. 6 weeks of my life gone. My soul has been sucked into this trial, and I'm not unhappy about it. Hi everyone, I'm Melissa Malati, and today we're going to talk about the possible outcomes of the Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard trial. In order to understand what's important for either party to win, we must talk about the facts. So here are the facts. In 2018, Amber Heard wrote an editorial in the Washington Post telling the world that she was a survivor of domestic abuse, and specifically, she referenced that she has been a survivor since 2016. The article didn't directly say Johnny Depp's name, but as Johnny was in a legal case with the Sun, UK, at the time for calling him a wife beater in regards to what he allegedly did while married to Amber, pretty much the entire world knew that she was talking about him. Not to mention, she very publicly filed for divorce at the Los Angeles courthouse in 2016, surrounded by paparazzi and sporting what looked like a bruise on her face. There's no way around it. Everyone knew she was accusing him. Johnny, of course, alleged that the article was all lies and that it led to financial hardship for him, including being released by 2 major franchise films, Pirates of the Carribean and Fantastic Beasts. Johnny's forensic accountant testified that Mr. Depp experienced an approximate loss of $40 million due to Heard's allegations. Ms. Heard filed a countersuit of $100 million, alleging that Johnny's lawyer, whom technically speaks for Johnny, defamed her when he went to the Daily Mail and told them that her allegations were an abuse hoax. She alleges that this comment defamed her and is the reason that she is unable to find work. Ms. Heard, however, did not lose her franchise deal with Warner Brothers to act in Aquaman, and she also hasn't made clear as to why she's suing specifically for $100 million. Her talent agent testified that all of her job prospects fell through after Mr. Depp made these claims, comparing Amber's career to the likes of major stars such as Zendaya, and that she would have been given major deals after the release of Aquaman. But unfortunately, no basis in actual proof for the reasoning behind this very big counterclaim of $100 million was given. Side thought, has anyone thought about the fact that Amber has been saying that Johnny is the more powerful one when she's claiming that her losses would be more than his? If he only lost $40 million and he's a major star and, in her words, a very powerful man, then how is it that she would have lost more than double the amount that he did? Would that not mean that she is more powerful? Anyways, back to the discussion. What does the jury need to consider when they are making their decision? A couple of things. They need to first come to a unanimous decision on who really defamed the other, and then how much damages should be awarded. What you may not know is that the jury just needs to base their opinion off of which case is stronger. They don't need to have evidence convincing beyond a reasonable doubt. But if they believe Amber's claims, then the case is most likely going to sway her way. If they believe Johnny's case, then it will more likely sway his way. They do have to consider, though, if either party attempted to bring harm to the other, if there was malice to defame the other with either the Washington op-ed or the abuse hoax claims by Johnny's lawyer. The jury will have to decide how much the defamation cost the winning party. So therefore, it is important that both parties have to be clear about how they arrived at their damage cost that they are suing for. As I mentioned earlier, Depp's team has been quite clear, and at this point, Amber's team has not. So, with all of this in mind, what are the possible outcomes? The first possible outcome is that Amber Heard wins the full $100 million. If this happens, then the jury will have to decide that her case is stronger than Mr. Depp's, and that Mr. Depp's team intended to defame her, and that she experienced that amount in losses. This, I think, is unlikely, as I mentioned earlier, that she has claimed that Johnny is more powerful than her on multiple occasions, and the fact that he's only claiming $50 million in losses, it makes no sense that she would have lost more than him, and she never even lost any franchise deals. So I would be super suspicious if she's awarded this in full. The second possible outcome, Johnny Depp wins the full $50 million. If this happens, then the jury will have decided that his case is stronger than Ms. Heard's, and that Ms. Heard showed a desire to harm and to defame him with her Washington op-ed. They also will have decided that his losses were valued at $50 million. The third possible outcome would be Amber wins, but is awarded less than her claim. The jury could decide that Amber was defamed by Johnny Depp, but her losses were not the amount that she has claimed. The fourth possible outcome could be that Johnny wins, but is awarded less than his claim. The jury could decide that Johnny was indeed defamed by Amber Heard, but his losses were not the amount that he has claimed. The fifth possible outcome might surprise you. The two could still agree to an out-of-court settlement. This would mean that their lawyers would have to come together to decide on an agreed-upon result. This, of course, is highly unlikely in this case, as they have already endured 6 weeks of suffering in these very public trials, so I highly doubt that this will happen. And finally, the last possible outcome is that the jury could decide that neither party is awarded damages. They could decide that perhaps both parties have equally defamed each other and neither deserve damages. Personally, I think it could swing either way. Amber's final speech on the stand was quite compelling, telling the jury about how much hate she gets online while shedding some very real tears. And quite honestly, no one can debate that she doesn't receive hate, and everyone knows it to be true. Especially through this trial, the world has been super hard on her. It would take a very strong person to be able to deal with all of that, and to be honest, I don't know if I could. Now, whether she caused this herself and brought this horrible attention onto herself, that is what this case is all about. She's a public figure, and as a public figure, sometimes your business becomes public knowledge. But also, arguably, she chose this fate knowing very well the possible repercussions when she chose to write the op-ed. But I'm guessing that perhaps she didn't know the public scrutiny would be this bad, as at the time, everyone was supporting claims like this because of the Me Too movement. But on another note, she could have the "he's a powerful man" point going for her, as the jury is unable to see that if that were true, then why are some of the biggest publications such as Vogue taking her side and telling the world to believe her just because she's a woman? Not to mention the fact that nobody was taking Johnny's side before the audio tapes were revealed to the public. The public feels so strongly about taking Johnny's side because the tapes reveal a deep truth that she wasn't afraid of him, and in fact is constantly aggressive with her language and has admitted to physically assaulting him. These were tapes she recorded. The number one point that I think Johnny has going for him is the fact that it was revealed that 2 months prior to Ms. Heard writing her Washington op-ed and sharing it, she sent a letter, in her words, to Johnny's lawyers threatening to sue for defamation. Camille Vasquez, Johnny's lawyer, and Amber spoke about this in her cross-examination, and she didn't deny it. This would give Amber a motive for writing the article, and this could potentially show that Amber had malicious intent to defame him. All that should matter is who fired first and who has actual evidence of physical. Amber fired first with the article, and Amber admitted on tape to hitting Johnny. And no matter what people have testified, this is the most unbiased evidence that was given in this trial. But anyways, that's my opinion, and I would honestly love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you think the verdict of the trial will be? Curious to know your thoughts. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Melissa Mulati, your host, and see you next time. Good day.